That's the UGA Jazz Band on It's Friday. Steve Dancz, director. Well, Steve, maybe this would be a good time for you to fill us in a little bit on the history of this ensemble, how it came about. You're in a rather unique position to address that. You've been directing this effort for what, more than a decade now?
Yes.
Somewhat more. And before that, you are an alumnus of the UGA Jazz Band. As a student, you played in it, and you weren't present in the band quite at its beginning, and yet you were an observer.
That's true.
So you know a lot about how it got started.
That's true. The UGA Jazz Band actually was formed the very first time by Olin Parker as part of a Phi Mu Alpha, which is a professional music fraternity it's actually nationwide. Mm-hmm. And so the big band on campus had its beginning there.
Now, when would that have been?
That would have been in the early 60s.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My father, Roger Dancz, got it entered into the curriculum with a course number attached, and actually started the jazz studies program. So the UGA Jazz Band started officially with him in the mid 60s. Mm-hmm. I did not play in the first band or the first, but I
you were a little young for that.
And they actually used to film in this room. They did a yearly television taping in here, and I remember that very well. That was probably in the early 70s.
Right.
And I'm getting these sideburns to kind of get back to that, kind of take back to that time, actually.
Yeah, we have an audio tape of the UGA concert band, I think, about that time, but yeah. we don't have an archival recording of the early jazz band, unfortunately.
Yeah. You'd need your sunglasses to look at the shirts and things. I remember that it was pretty well, bright. Bright colors at the time, but you know, that was the day. Now look,
mm-hmm. Yeah, yes,
we've kind of gone to the other extreme.
Everybody's very cool now. That's
yeah,
right.
I think so. But yeah, and then the band has been a part of the School of Music curriculum ever since that time. Since then, actually, we've added jazz improvisation courses, small group classes, jazz combos that are actually part of the official curriculum, and then private applied study also in jazz improv. So even though we do not have a degree yet, I'm hoping we're moving that way or toward a minor. We'll we've got some good course offerings anyway.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this is a safe thing to ask, but could we get a show of hands from the band? Or are there any of you actually contemplating a career in jazz? Anybody? I see one hand, another one perhaps tentatively raised. I'm not sure. That's really, but that's not necessarily the point. I would assume. I mean, it's not like that's what you're supposed to be doing. The point is to have some fun with it, and if it is something that turns out to be a passion you just can't get away from, then by all means, go for it.
And I think part of this, too, is the experience of playing this music, again, as part of, the popular culture of this country, which then informs whatever you do. I mean, there's not that many outlets to be if your career was set on playing in professional big bands, it's, it's a tight market.
Well, really.
It's a very tight market, but taking what you learn from this type of music and just learning how to swing and how to groove and how to improvise and all the rest, you can take into anything you want, from country to hip hop.
Sure, yeah.
Or country hip hop, which I think is kind of the new thing that's coming.